Hello, Weekend Crafter! Welcome back to the Craft Time Studio. I'm Ange, your Weekend Crafter, and for this weekend, I decided to make clay buttons to update some of my clothes. In this short tutorial, I will share with you a couple of techniques to texture clay as well. For the first set of buttons, you will need some custom beige clay, a circular cutter, about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, some lacy ribbon, and a clay roller. Let's roll the clay into the number 3 setting. You'll want a bit of thickness to the clay. Next, place the lace on top of the clay. Then, use the clay roller to press the lace onto the clay. The texture of the lace should transfer onto the clay. After which, I get my circular cutter and punch 2 circles. Then, I lift the shapes up by sliding the tissue blade across the bottom. This makes sure that you don't deform the shape. Next, I get some white mica and brush this onto the circles to give it some shine. Then I bake these pieces. While the pieces are baking, I want to move on to the next set of buttons. For these buttons, I got the circular cutter and some lilac colored clay to match the dress that I'm updating. Again, I rolled out the clay into the number 3 setting. Then, I got a silk screen of leaves and pressed it down onto the clay with a clay roller. Did you know that you could also use mica with silk screen? I picked a dark purple shade and brushed it onto the silk screen in a circular motion. Then, I use the circular cutter to make circles. This gets baked. After the pieces have been baked and cooled, I get the button template that I made so that the holes that I make onto the clay will match. I use a manual drill to make these holes. Now, these are how the pieces look like once the holes have been drilled. Of course, you can also punch out the holes before you bake the circles. I just wanted to try this method out, and I think it also works as well. After placing the holes, I sand the pieces using this handy nail sander. And then I finally sew the buttons. One goes to the sleeves of my lacy dress, and I really loved how it updated the look of my dress. For the lilac button, I decided to glaze the buttons first using Sculpey satin glaze. I spread the glaze using a brush. And then I sewed this onto the bodies of my summer dress, and I really think it matches the vibe of the dress. I enjoy projects like this because it's very easy. To make, and also it really did upgrade my current wardrobe. I hope that this inspires you to make clay buttons because they're a fun and practical use for polymer clay. Have a crafty weekend. Bye!